Hello everybody, Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models. Okay fellas, for you tonight I have something special going on here right now. I know I've been kind of chewing from my usual videos. Lots of going on around the house lately, between work and other things and such is life, they say. Just kind of kept away from the bench for a while. And I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning around the man cave, get this place kind of ship shape. I've been working pretty much around inside my man cave, getting going to taking inventory, see what I've got, and I got a lot. Really, I got a lot. I didn't know I had so many models, and that'd be built. Okay, as to the all at sea group build, featuring my USS Brooklyn and my second entry, the USS Maine. I'm going to put them on hold for about maybe a good couple weeks. But I will resume back on, guys. I promise you that I will. To my eyes, walking around inspecting things that need to be done and finished up on, I've got a lot of bills laying around. I trapped myself into modeler syndrome, and I need to get myself out. And so I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 builds that need to be done. I got 2 all at sea, and the other ones, the other 3 are more or less just winter builds. Excuse me. Okay, got another winter build. I got 2 winter builds. I got 2 more winter builds. They got started and never got finished, and they need to be finished. Now, this video is more or less directly on the special for you. It's called Lord Nelson Tribute Build. I've been on the YouTube channel doing a little bit of research here and there, and just curiosity, you know, just take a look at stuff. I saw the HMS Victory. I said, you know, it's a beautiful ship. I've always liked to know how it looks like inside. I've never seen them inside before. And thank you for cyberspace and everything. They got walkthroughs. You can get aboard it and everything and walk around. And you got a gentleman that'll greet you on the weather deck, and he'll be your guide. He'll walk you throughout the whole ship and explain things to you, everything about it and everything. And there was an hour walkthrough on that thing. And my God, I was really, I was astounded with how the things were built, how they were constructed. I can actually visualize myself being a seaman aboard the HMS Victory, and how life aboard them really was. It was very harsh. The HMS Victory, she was the flagship for Lord Nelson in the Battle of Trafalgar, in which he got killed. Sharpshooter shot him through the chest. It came out the base of his spine or somewhere in that region of his body, and they took him all the way down below to the ballast. They spread him across the knee of the ship, and he said his farewells to the crew and everything. Lord Nelson was a very, well, how would you put that? A sailor's sailor. He would actually talk in length to the seamen, and he was very gentle to him. And he was not very cruel and mean, and like most captains were in 18th century sea law. He just more or less questioned the men on their jobs and things. He walked around the ship without marine escorts, just walked around freely, and he was well loved by his crew and his country. And Lord Horatio, Lord Nelson, was a very small man. He wasn't very tall like you see him in pictures. I believe he had a lot of props, a lot of things around that were made smaller, make him look bigger. But the man was small, but he was a giant when it came to naval strategy and leadership for his country. And so I decided, what the hey, you know, it's winter time. I like to build ships in the winter time and kind of put them aside so it's getting hot on airplanes when it starts warming up a little bit. So I was looking around and I found in my stash pile my Airfix 1/180 scale HMS Victory. Now I thought, looking at kids, I must have bought that pretty recently. I said, God, yeah, you did. I bought that about 2 or 3 years ago. I remember that. And I think I made a video of that one time. I'm not too certain. I probably did. Stash pile video. Well, anyway, I took it out of the stash and I started turning to the HMS Victory. Before we reviewed the model, fellas, anybody that's got this kit in their stash or thinking about building it, who's already built it, is probably building it now or going to buy one, be very aware of what you're going to be greeted with. It's a beautiful kit, but man, you've got to do your homework on that kit. I'm talking about sandpaper, files, emery boards, these, a lot of cleaning, a lot of pinhole marks too. You got like a tent with all that too. So you're going to be very, very busy for a long, long time preparing parts before you actually assemble them and paint them. So that's about what I did on this thing. I spent about 4 days. No, about almost 5 days. I've been working on this thing for about 2 weeks. And I spent almost 5 days just cleaning this thing up before I'd be able to actually build the kit. And I kid you not, guys, there's a lot of flash in there because it's old. It's like me. It's ancient. And it's got to be cleaned before you put it together. And the detail on the kit is, for a time, it was pretty well detailed. Even now, it's pretty well detailed kit. It's very different compared to what's out there. And anything that's close to it is the Revell one. Its scale is 1/225 scale, which is probably makes the Victory just a little smaller than 1/180 scale. Now this kit's pretty good size. I mentioned all the way from the Spencer mast spanker all the way up the top of the Spirit sail bowsprit. It's probably about a good maybe 23 inches long. And so it's a pretty good size model in a smaller scale. And of course, guys, you know, when you work in a miniature, a lot of detail and stuff like you usually do has to be omitted because of scale. So eventually you don't want to overcloud anything by over detailing it and try to make it look right. And so I'm going to rig this thing with monofilament. I'm going to rig this thing up and make homemade blocks by using blobs of white glue or carpenter's glue, and make a series of knots to make blocks out of them. So it's going to be an interesting kit. It comes with the sails and everything. So I'm going to be on this kit for a while, and I'm going to be on a bunch of other ones for a while. So actually I'm going to put the Victory while and let it dry for about a good day, and we'll start commencing on another build here. I'll show you as I swing the camera around. Okay guys, enough said, and let's take a look at the Victory. There she is over there, fellas. Waterline has all weathered by giving a good immersion of salt and copper. It gives the oxidation look. It makes the hull look like on top of the roofs of these old buildings you see all over the place. The detail of this kit is pretty good. It's not bad, guys. You know, it's for an old kit, it goes very well. I still got a lot of work to do in the hull. I got the after skylight's got to be installed, and I got a few other essentials got to be installed as well. And all those cannons got to be installed too. The kit gives you about 16 cannons and cartridges for the weather deck and also top of the poop deck. And they give you the guns there. This is a real nice little victory right here. And the royal door is right there. Swing his tape around a little bit. So he used to using a Lazy Susan. Still got to do work on the transom. Right above the first row of those windows, I got to paint those flags. Deck was given several washes. Deck detail of the kid's not very good. Not very good at all. So what you got to do with a metal rule over the raised planking, to simulate the deck, you got to use a blade and score those planks on there over it. So that way it'll set the washers and give it the deck the illusion of your decking. It's not a bad little kit, guys. Tell you the truth, it's old, and I tell you one thing: it looks very neat when it's all done. It's a very good model. It has a lot of good looks to it and everything, and I think it's better than the Revell one. To be honest with you, I've seen the Revell one before. I almost built one when I was younger, but I never did. I never did build a. The only HMS Victory I've ever built before, fellas, was the Heller kit, the 1/100 scale. And that's down below. And I believe you me, that's a lot of work to do in that kit. Anybody's got that Heller kit, replace those yards, mast, spankers, booms, Spencer mast, bowsprit with wooden dowel. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's big, it'll get bopped, it's going to bust. When it busts on the bowsprit or the yards, anything that has rigging attached to it, you're going to have big trouble. And because the plastic that Heller uses is a lot more different than Airfix or Revell or all the Asian Brothers plastic. It's more like a resin-like plastic. A plastic that's very brittle that'll snap. And like I said, that's what it does, it just snaps. You can use any kind of glue there is in the market. You think it's going to conquer that for strength, it's not going to work, fellas. I tried it. So what your best thing to do is save yourself a headache and a lot of problems. Get yourself some wood doweling and make your own yards, make your own mast, and there you go. And you'll thank yourself in the long run. You didn't give me too much detail on the headgear up forward, fellas. Up there where the head's at, where the whiskers are at and everything. I gotta paint the mast bands black on the bowsprit. And get that done. So I got a lot of work to do in the hull. I'm not quite done with the hull yet, fellas. Got a lot of work. I got the channels to put on. Got to put the cannons on there. The shutter bays got to be put on. When that's all done, then I start going up, stepping up with the mast. So this is the Airfix 1/180 scale HMS Victory. Anybody who's built this kit agrees it's a beautiful kit when it's finished. It's a nice kit, and it makes a very, very good display with your fleet. And Lord Nelson will approve, and Captain Harding will approve as well. Our boys love the HMS Victory. I love how the English built these things. I imagine all the wood in England was used during the time these things were built, and during World War II they had a shortage of wood, is because of those days. HMS Victory had almost 900 men plus officers enlisted, and after watching that walkthrough of this thing on there, they had a lot of you can see how the sailors lived. They lived right at the station. If they're stationed on a cannon, there's 12 men per cannon. So you got 12 guys right there. They got mess tables to each one of these cannons on there. You slept where your cannon's at, and you ate where your cannon is at. You went into battle, you manned your cannon. And that's the way it was back in those days. 18th century sea law was very cruel back in those days. A lot of guys avoided from joining the Royal Navy. It's because they know how harsh it was to become a seaman on one of these things. They know that the chances are coming back to England is not very good. And most of the ship's crews in those days were pressmen. The guys that were pressed in the service, a lot of them couldn't tell wood from canvas. A lot of them were insubordinate. A lot of them didn't take orders too well. A lot of them, they fought among themselves. So what they had to do, they had to whip them into shape. You have a couple of bosuns on there, you grab them, they flog them, and eventually they'll conform to the ways of the Royal Navy. And so, being a single man back in those days, you got to be very careful where you're going at, especially you walking down the streets or going to a pub or something like that. Press gang come and see you like that, they grab you, chase you down, and knock you out, and next thing you know, you're in the Royal Navy, and His Majesty's Navy, and the rest is history. So, guys, this is a good kit. Don't let it flash scare you, and just take your time. It's just part of the process of working on something that's old. And I see in the future maybe Airfix will probably retire this kit someday. It'll become a dinosaur, and eventually only way you find them is on eBay or vendors. Okay, we'll swing the camera over here. I'll show what else Frankie Day's going to be doing. Right over here is the USS Shangri-La. This kit here is by Wind Wall. I started this off and on tinkering with it for about a year or so. I think I bought this about 2 or 3 years ago. And so I'm going to start working on this. Get this thing done. I'm going to put the Victory, I'm going to put her in dry dock, and I'm going to go ahead and start turning to on the Shangri-La, on the USS Shangri-La, and post a video on that. And with that done, with that out of the way, I'm going to bring out my Gorgeburg German training ship and start getting that thing going, make a video of that, and start working on the Wanderer Whaler and get her all finished up. Then I'll start going back on the Victory. And I got to hop on the Spitfire and finish up Mr. Warren Blanche and Frankie Day's Spitfire buddy group build. There's no time limit on it, guys. Warren is a very fast builder. He gets it done really quick, and he puts a lot of time into him. And he's already got that finished out already, so be sure to go see Warren's final reveal video of the Spitfire. He did a very, very marvelous job on it. And like I told Warren, so Warren, I'll get on my Spitfire and get something going on it too. So guys, I've been working on these ships and kind of keep me away a little bit, and plus things around the house has been shaking. So that's what's shaking for the last couple of weeks. We'll bring it back to Frankie Day. Here I is right here. Yep, here I am. Okay, that'll be it for tonight, guys. So that's going to be video number 1 for Lord Nelson Tribute group build or buddy build. If anybody has got one and want to join in, that's fine. There's no time limit on it. Batteries get low, guys. Time for Frankie Day to get out of here. Make mama happy. Take care of yourselves. God love you guys. See you next video. Bye, boys.